So I would like to start this webinar by saying a big welcome to all participants. I'm very pleased to welcome you for this new series of webinars of acrobatic gymnastics proposed by European Gymnastics. I also would like to take this opportunity to wish you a wonderful year 2021 with a lot of success in acrobatics and in your lives. In this very difficult time, it's a great pleasure to see you all online. For acrobatics, this webinar is the first event of 2021 to share knowledge between the acrobatics community, and I would like to thank European Gymnastics and especially Farid Garibov, the president of European Gymnastics, to offer us this opportunity. These webinars have a great success that starts to spread all over the world, over the border of Europe. And today I would like to welcome some new guests from Iran. We also have some guests from FIG. I saw earlier that Frank Baum is connected, is there for all our webinars. So welcome to the FIG TC members. And of course, I would like to welcome all participants from more than 20 countries. Just a few quick information about the running of this webinar. You have received in the email that your camera will always be disconnected as well as your microphone, but you will have the possibility to talk. You can use whether the chat, as I just told you, or the Q&A section. We will always talk in English. And when you have a question for our expert, you can use the Q&A section and I will pass them on to them. Just for your information, but I think now you're used of this, this webinar is recorded and it will be accessible on the YouTube channel of European Gymnastics. So you can always review the webinar on the YouTube channel. Let's talk a little bit specifically about this webinar. We are now in the first of the series of 3 webinars where the best coaches of Europe will present several subjects on how to build the complexity in acrobatics. The main goal is to share the experience and the knowledge of the coaches with a practical approach based on what you as coach need. Today, our webinar will be divided in 2 parts. We will start with Lorenzo Franca. He will present us the twisting rotation with a very original approach based on experience and practical aspects. There will be, of course, a little bit of theory, but that will be included in the presentation. And the second very main topic that was really asked a lot, we will talk about the one arm with Revaz, the expert of one arm. So everything you need to know about one arm for bases and tops, the technique, the progression, well, everything you need to know. So every time, just do not hesitate to use the Q&A section. And after each presentation, we will take a few minutes to answer your questions. So the experts are here also to give you answers. So today we are very honored to welcome our 2 special guests that will deliver and share with us their knowledge. So first, Lorenzo Franca. I know both of them, we don't need to present them to you now, but just a few words. Lorenzo, so you all know, is the head coach of the Acro Club of Maya. Is also the coach of members of national teams of Portugal since 1999. As a coach, you know him with the great results with a medalist at European and World Championships. And also is an FIG Academy expert and a physical education teacher. Revaz, you all know as a former champion in acrobatics, world champion, European champion, world games winner. And now he became a coach with lots of success too, with the European games winner, European champions, So I'm just gonna stop a talk now and give them the floor, and we will start immediately with Lorenzo.
Hi.
So I give you the floor. Thanks
you.
for you to be
Thank
here.
you. Thank you, Karim. Thank you for the presentation. Hi, Revaz. Hi, everyone. I think I can start sharing the screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. So, well, the general idea of the presentation was to give some practical knowledge, some practical experiments on twisting rotation in acro. When UAG proposed this to me, I thought that we could try something a bit different. I've never tried it myself, but the time frame was pretty suitable to make it. So what I've did was a 30-day experiment. I took a girl with no background on twisting. She barely can make a straight salto, and with trainings during some period of time, 30 days, not 30 trainings, not as far, trying to reach as maximum as far as possible. So we can go from the basics to acro on a twisting level. The thing is that we have decided that there was no chance to make forward twisting in this 30-45 minutes presentation. So we focus on the back twisting, especially also because it's one of the most kind of twisting that we have in acro. We don't have too much forward twisting. So we focus on that. And we conduct really an experiment, a practical experiment with some of my gymnasts. So I started on December 8th and I finished on January 13th. Yesterday, January 15th, Portugal entered in lockdown. So if the experiment wasn't successful, I didn't have too much to present because we had to close. But at least we had some, well, we can always get to the end and say, okay, in 30 days, there's no chance I was able to make it. But the general thing was to make something every coach can do with some basic equipment. I've tried different approaches on the trampoline, on the mini trampoline. Okay, I don't have a trampoline. Let's go on a mini trampoline. I don't have a mini trampoline. You must have something, okay? You must have something to propel the kids, the gymnasts in the air. Otherwise, it will pretty much be not that easy to teach these kind of skills. So I've started with one girl and went to try with other gymnasts, also with bases. Well, I have something for you to see. The starting point was this one, really rudimentary notion of the back straight salto. Far from perfect, but some ideas, and no tilting twist notion, okay? So here it is, step by step, what we have done. So the first step is always the same. So the gymnast needs to understand that they have to have some trust to fall backwards. I have a pit on my gym, and with those young kids like 3-5 years old, when they come on the gym and you ask them when they are jumping on the trampoline and making some forward roll on the pit, everyone can make it because they can see where they are going, and they make almost somersault. You know, it's funny cat somersault forward, but it's something. But if you put them backwards, you know, the back facing the pit, and say, now jump backwards, everyone will look on the shoulder to see where they are. So the first thing we do is exactly that one, falling backwards. Okay, so falling on the unknown. And this is everything we've done. We are without masks, although it's December, because the guinea pig is my daughter, so we are in the same bubble. The key points. So the hands lead the motion, chest up or shoulders up, straight feet, like if they are jumping, like half point, and a lot of thrust. This is another example because you have to repeat and repeat and repeat. As close to perfection, you see chest up and falling. This was not that good because here we go. I record the good ones and the bad ones and I show you so you can see the mistakes and the corrections the coaches need to do. So in this case, the shoulders fall first and you don't want that hollow position. You want the hips up, the hands falling first. In this case, shoulders and hips were falling. The body was not that rigid. So let's see another try. This one, better one. This one, a better one. So second step, we start jumping. We start jumping always with the coach, and the idea is the same, falling backwards. Okay, so key points: the hands lead the motion because the hands are doing the back salto, not any other part of the body. Chest up or shoulders up, jump together with the coach, although it's the coach that jumps, and trying to land as flat as possible, hands, shoulders, hips, and feet all together in the same landing. So a little bit higher, exactly the same. You see, I'm conducting the movement, and when the body is totally flat, I allow the gymnast to fall on the back. Third step, 3/4 back straight salto. And this is all the kind of manipulation we have to do. This was really, I'm showing you first attempt, okay, with really barely none notion of what was need to be done. So what are the key points? I explained the gymnast. Again, hands lead the movement, chest up, chin on chest, which is really important for this 3/4 notion, because if they put the chin up, the shoulders will go down and not helping the shoulders go up. Jump together with me, and after the jump, and this is where the magic happens, the hands drop really fast towards the hips, and the hips rotate towards the hands. So this is the most basic of Newton's law. It's biomechanics, it's inertia. We can talk about it, but this is not exactly in 30, 45 minutes. It's not the right place. But you have to understand that in the beginning, as the straight the body is, if you shorten one of the limbs, the body will rotate faster. I strongly advise you to watch Fred Yedem, magnificent teacher. There's a lecture from UAG on the trampoline YouTube channel. You can look at it and you understand all the mechanics. Again, in the end, a hollow shape just to protect the back. Okay, so let's see. So it's exactly the same, a little bit better, just waiting in the beginning and then closing arms, hips start rotating. Okay, fourth step. We already know how to make the straight salto. We are trying to put the twist in the system. When I mean the system, I mean in the brain. So this is a complex skill. So we need to try the gymnast to understand what is happening. And I use this kind of simple drills, just lowering one arm and she will rotate by self. Take notice, I'm doing it with a little hop. So because the tilting action only happens when they are airborne, when they are in the air. Otherwise, it's impossible. So key points: fast lowering the arm to change the body shape. So if the gymnast is with both arms and you are you separate in the middle, if you lower one arm, half of the body will be shorter and the other will be higher. And that means that when you lower one arm on a back salto, you will rotate, okay, towards the area you just lower, okay? Chin on chest. This is again basic biomechanics. And the idea of this moment is that you start having the twisting with the straight salto, putting that on gymnast brain. If you want to understand a little bit more, I advise you to see the lecture on planning that I've made on for UEG in December. So it's in YouTube channel from UEG, and it can give you some insight of the importance of the brain in this kind of activities. So let's see what we can do. Up, up. You see, one arm, the other arm, full twist. Almost, you know, with no knowledge. Okay, we are going a little bit deep. You see, I let the gymnast fall, and then when she jumps, she makes exactly the same thing. Lower the arm, she performs the half twist by self, just to make it in the brain, okay? So let's see now. Hop. Really nice. Pretty much with my assistance, of course, but I wasn't expecting anything different. What are the key points? Fast lower the arm, chin on chest, and now we have started to make the gymnast understand what is a salto with some kind of longitudinal rotation, okay? Always with a hollow shape, not too much, but this this key thing to ask them, look at the toes, will help them to prevent that the chin goes backwards, okay? So let's see some more attempts. And here is a really common mistake. And what are the common mistakes we can find? First, the shoulders go forward, okay? They don't go up like we did on the first videos, just jumping backwards, shoulders going up. If the shoulders go forward, everything will go down. And what happened here, the twisting was started too early. So after the immediate jump, she already started to making the twist. This will happen constantly, and you will have to be really strict, not allowing that to happen in this fragile moment where you are, well, the brain is understanding the process, okay? So the twist should only happen after the gymnast starts the straight salto. When he guarantees, okay, I'm doing a straight salto, I can start the twisting, and not before, okay? So let's see some more. We need to go back constantly. And okay, this was my mistake. It's recorded. I've tried to help her. I wasn't that successful. So we've tried again. Again, just going back, off turn, land, and just a little help to make the twist. And now you can see here how, like a baby seal, you know, like how soft she still is, because this is, you know, really the beginning of everything. Let's see now a slight different approach. We don't have a trampoline, but we have a mini trampoline. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to try to use less manipulation, more air awareness. This normally demands gymnasts with more notion than the one I was trying on the trampoline. They have more control, and they especially understand where the shoulders should go or where the hands should go. We'll do exactly the same steps, falling backwards, three quarter, 180, three quarter, full twist. Okay, so baby steps. First one, just going backwards. Different gymnasts, exactly the same. Some of the mistakes are exactly the mistakes I pointed before. Shoulders are falling backward and down. So you remember always hands lead the movement. And if you start twisting too early, you will have a problem in there. So the twist should start. So if you ask your gymnast, look to the helper. Okay, there's someone spotting on the vault. So look to your helper before you start doing anything. Look at it and don't move your head. So chin on the chest. So these videos were recorded during Christmas. That's why I have a costume, and it was cold. But we were celebrating Christmas during these days. So you see, half turn, really nice. Here, with a little help, because this gymnast has one problem, and it's sure the straight salto is made. So I have to help her a little bit more, and I'll just say, not allowing her to twist until very late. So she can do straight salto first, almost look at the mat, and then make the twist. And here is, I do something like, I put a little slope. So I lower the mat, and the mat is not flat, it's like here. So when they land, they will rotate, okay? Everything has the same objective, putting the twist in the brain, okay? And here it is. Come and rotate until she falls on the pit. And this is the first full ever of this gymnast, okay? With my help, of course, but you can see clearly, she lowers one arm, and after that, she lowers the next, and that is spot on. 1 and 2, okay? Again, the same gymnast that has the problem doing the straight saltos. She has too much hollow shape, but the twisting is getting there, which is one of the important things. And here we go a little further with Clara. Nice one. And this one, even perfect. 1.5, really nice. So the same steps. Let's go back on the trampoline. Let's see with the same gymnast with some more trainings. You remember this was in a gap of 1 month, okay? Much nicer, the 3/4. And I can assure you, I wasn't able in every training to make this. Sometimes I make it twice a week, once a week in some cases, because we had other things to do, and I didn't want to, you know, the life of the coach when they are going to see this presentation was, oh, I have to do this every day, otherwise it's impossible. No, it's not that the case. You can see, hop, much nicer, the kick of the legs, so that the 3/4 is pretty much in there. Really nice with half turn. One more. And with another, and hop, half turn. Now I was good in spotting. I didn't make the same mistake. Nice. Well, I spoke too soon. I made a mistake here in spotter. That's why I fall down. I should help her sooner. But this one was pretty nice. Even the hollow shaping in the end to protect the back, shoulders down. It was really, really a good demonstration. You see the timing, one arm, second arm, hollow shape. Really nice. You know, everything was getting there. So I got a little carried away and finished the full twist for her. So these are the key points. When you arrive here, you don't need to always say chin on the chest. You just want the head to be neutral. The hands are leading the way. Tilt of one arm after kicking the legs for the straight salto and finishing the rotation with the other arm, okay? So, 7th step, another approach. We don't have only tops at the gym, and this is acrobatics twisting. So sometimes you want your bases to make a twist, but they didn't learn when they were smaller in a portable way. So you need to teach them with no manipulation because they are big, because they are tall, because they are heavier. So there's some ways you can do it and they will do it by themselves. Again, you need an elastic surface. In my case, I need an elastic surface. Probably there are others. I use this one. So the gymnast has the control of the takeoff, and they will get the twisting awareness, okay, from here. So just, this is an old video, but this is how they started and how they understand. So just a back flick, you see, they get control of the hands, just a back flick to chest, and then pretty much the same. Go and lowering one arm, and half turn. And we go from there. So this was many years ago. They were, I think, 11, 16, and they were seniors last year. So and they perform full twist, and they learn it by this way. So let's see some more training on the trampoline and where we are at the moment. So you can understand this was a time frame of a month. Now we are almost like 2 weeks ago. So nice. No coach, half twist with just, you know, nice kick of the arms, shoulders up. Let's see this one. The plan was slightly different from, and a little bit. Well, it was double twist, but the plan was not that one. This was the mistake. She was shoulders too far. So if you rotate too much, if you give too much rotation on the transversal axis, you will rotate more in the longitudinal axis. So, and that's what happened. She was rotating more, spinning, twisting more, because she accelerated the shoulders backwards. With another gymnast, a little bit too much acceleration from the shoulders. You see, and that's why she landed on the feet first. But then she understand, and this one was really nice. Just, you see, perfect, okay? And after all this trampoline and mini trampoline, we wanted to try, if it was possible, to go on the 11-16 trio of the gymnast I used as a demonstrator. So we went on the twisting belt, and we start with exactly the same things: lowering one arm, half turn. So you see, hands, kick, drop one arm, leave the other up. And I just, for you to see, you see hands, kick of the leg, lower one arm, keeping the other up. So arms there, you see the kick, and this is really nice. It's like the shoulders and the hands have stopped in these two frames, and you see the body with a huge kick to allow the straight salto, and that's what you want to see. And only after that, you drop the arm and you initiate the twist. Okay? It was really nice tries. So again, half turn, another day. Okay, this was not that perfect because she already made a full turn some days before, and she was a little bit faster and tilting, so not dropping the arm as much as she could. And then we try the full twist, 1, 2, and they were really surprised when they make it. This was the first attempt, and they were really like, wow, landing on the feet. It happened something here. So hands, kick, drop one arm, drop the other, and then the untilt. So it's exactly the same. Hands, first arm after the kick, second arm, and then the untilting with opening the arm. Okay, it's exactly what we were talking about. Okay, so another try, another day, 1, 2. It's not perfect. It was not alone, but then the days were running short, and then we said maybe we already did some tries on the belt enough. So let's try everything out. With my assistants, we perform exactly the same things. So jumping, lowering, landing. One arm. This was exactly what we have done step by step. And this was the first time they perform a full twist. Exactly the same technique. Of course, she has more air. She's airborne. She has more space in the air, so more time to make the full twist. This was the second attempt. Okay, just 1, 2, full twist, and then my full twist. I fall, I fall down. So here are the key points. You know, we've made it. Hands lead the way, head neutral, eyes looking forward. Don't let them take the chin out of the chest, because that will make shoulders going down. Tilt one arm after the kicking of the body. That will start the rotation, and then finish the rotation with the other arm, and tilt with the second arm to finish and to help the bases to grasp. So you can see it's in the brain of the gymnast, and that's what's important. If I can make it on competition, I can't. At the moment, I can't. We will need many more, you know. I think probably more time to make it safely on a 100% sure try. It will take me some more time, but the good thing, it's in the brain of the gymnast, and this is, you know, as truth as it can be. From 8th of December, this was the first time we've tried something like this. Really nice. First attempt to the last one. was 13th of January, and it was done. So it was around 12 trainings, really strict with the basis, with the basics, okay, really strict. I did not one single mistake go without correction. So, and every time I start with the same, falling backwards. Remember this, falling backwards. Even today, I finished the training and we were in the mini trampoline with some of the kids. And the first thing is always handstand, jumping, falling backwards. Only after we start with the 3/4 and the half turn and things like that. So it was this. So 30 days experiment, 30 minutes presentation. Well, spot on. Thank you for the gymnast that was really patient with me, and Karin and UAGTC for the invitation. And thank you all for watching online, and any questions you may have, I'm here for you. You have my email or Facebook or something. So thank you all. Karin, let's hear some questions.
Thanks a lot, Lorenzo, for this wonderful presentation and experimentation. I think it's really helping the coaches. So I think we can use a little bit of time now to listen to our participants, to listen to their questions, because I'm sure they all have some. So please use the Q&A section or the chat. We already have one question from Regis. How do you determine the direction of the twist?
Well, I didn't. We do something in my gym. All the girls you saw there started gymnast here in my club around 3-4 years old, and with all the gymnasts, they all rotate to the left. So I didn't determine too many things. Sometimes we see that they are not going the correct way, and we try rotation on the right, but 99% of the cases, it's a correct approach that we do. For us, I don't want you to use it as a recipe, but for us, all the gymnasts, they rotate, they twist on the left. They make everything from the round off to the half turn to the full turn, everything they do on the left. Sometimes an older gymnast comes, sometimes from another club, and they have a rotation on the right. It's okay, it's perfectly natural. We'll do it on the same, but you know, pretty much everything in nature rotates on the left. So the earth, sorry, the earth spins to the left. You go on a track and field, and you make the 400 meters to the left. So everything, it's on that direction. So I'm not saying that we are 100% right and you should do that. I'm just saying that we do that, and we are really adapted to that system. And all the coaches on the club in the acro area, they will start with the kids when they arrive at 3 to 5, 6, 7 years old, 8 years old, and they will start everything to make them, to have them rotating on the left.
So we have a question from Tom that is linked to this, saying, what if your gymnast does a round off on the right? Would you still prefer left twist in the salto?
No, if he makes the round off that way, that's because he didn't start with us. First point. So he comes from another club probably. And then of course he will rotate on the left, on the right. That there will be no problem whatsoever.
Okay, thank you. We have a question from Nina. How do you get from 1 to 2 twists? And how can the gymnast get more twisting speed?
So it's pretty much basic biomechanics. So you start with one twist by lowering one arm. And that's all you need to understand and all they need to understand. But if you want to increase the number of twisting, you have to use the other arm as fast as possible. So if you want to go from 1 to 2, and imagine in this case, all the gymnasts were lowering the left to start rotation, and then they will lowering the right to finish it. But the gymnast that she was doing 1.5, everything she was doing is beginning the twist with the left and fast with the right. And that was more than enough to make the 1.5 double twist, triple twist, anything you need. It's from the other arm making a fast, a really, really fast, not soon, but fast movement, starting or continuing the movement of the twist.
Thank you, Lorenzo. I have a question. In your presentation, you made the choice to use the aerial twisting, meaning starting the rotation in the air. There are some other approach of the twisting that are used also in other disciplines, which is to start the twisting during the contact. Why did you make this choice?
Well, especially because this should be an acro approach. So I don't want no flyer, no top to start twisting on the contact of the bases or on the platform. The contact, we call it the torque twist. It happens mostly in artistic gymnastics, in aerobics, sometimes in rhythmics, but normally it comes with well, I will not say penalty, but if you don't have too much fly time, and you can have it in artistic because it's a sprung floor and they fly high. But in aerobics, for example, it's a wooden floor. They will not jump that high. And every time you need to make a torque twist, you probably will have some kind of penalty. So this should be a webinar related to acro. And now I don't want no twisting starting in the contact of the partners.
Thanks for your answer. At the minute, we do not have any other question, but maybe Revaz, would you like to complete the presentation and share your experience about the twisting?
Hello again. It was so nice and it was very interesting, and I also loved some kind of experiments, and it was really nice to see it. And actually, about me, in my club, we prefer one thing when we want to recognize to which direction the kid will rotate. Actually, what we do, we're standing behind the kid. The kid close the eyes, and we just clap, and he reacts. So it's like a little bit nature. So it's just how we do it. So, but it's like not every day, every single day practice.
Those kind of simple drills with the young kids are really nice. When the coach just want them to run in one direction, puts them facing backwards that direction, ask them to close the eyes and clap the hand, or in a signal, he must turn and run. And you know, that will give you some kind of idea of what is the fastest for him to start the running on the opposite side. So it can give you an idea of what is the good rotation side for him. Yeah, it's those kind of nice fun drills are really good for the kids.
Thank you. We have a question from Eve. What do you do with the base turning right and flyer left to catch in twist? Which side you prefer? For example, from handstand to handstand.
I will not change. I must say that I didn't understand too much the question, but I will not change none of the sides of the twisting of both. But I prefer always the twisting to the left. It is also my natural side for help. I can help on the other side because I have some of the kids that came from other clubs that, for example, when they are do their tumbling passes and they are doing round off back flick, full twist, and you have to help them. Yeah, you have to understand where you should go, what kind of spotters your arms should be doing, and that's something you train also. But I tell you that although I'm a little bit dyslexic with the left and right, so I always have to think really nice when some of my kid turns on the side that's not normal for me to help. I ask them to wait, and I train. I practice myself. What should I be doing? Like he should practice, and then I'm capable of helping him.
Okay, great. We have Iron to raise the hand. Is it a mistake or do you have a question? Otherwise, I think we will change the subject. I would like to say that we are very, very lucky to have two experts like you are, Lorenzo and Revaz, with all this level, and that you accept to share all this knowledge. It's really a privilege, and I would like to thank you both again for accepting to do this webinar with us. It gives so many interesting information, so I would like to take this opportunity while the participants can still write some questions, but really thank you. It's an honor for us, and it's a big privilege, so thank you
Karin.
very much.
I just want to say one thing. This was pretty much a risk to me to make a presentation like this, but the thing when you present something, or when you want to teach something, or when you want to show something, is that you also need to learn, and I need to learn a lot to be able to present this. So although it was a little bit a gamble, will I be able to make it? Will the girl be able to make it? Will I have time to make this in 30 days? Probably I wouldn't, but you know, it is possible, it is doable, and we are not talking about super talents. So it's something we all can maybe try, maybe different, maybe do another things probably, but it is a good thing when we do this kind of webinars, the volume of information that we that are giving it also obtain and learn, it's really something. So I really thank you all, and thank you, Karin, to have this opportunity.
Thank you, Lorenzo. And we know that you're in a position that it's really not so easy to present like this with no real interaction. It's not the same as when we are face to face with people. So I propose that we now give the floor to Revaz, and that we spend a little bit of time to speak about the one arm, which is, I would say, something like essential in acrobatics. It is what is representing acrobatics. Doing one arm in one arm is the element that is really typical for the high level in acrobatics. So Revaz, I would like to give you the floor. Just one thing before, because we have one last question, Lorenzo, for you, so we can have to really stop the subject on the full twist. A last question from Alfredo. For a full in back salto, the arms, the full, I don't really understand the English. The full is better use the arms straight or bent. Okay, so I suppose the question is, when you do the full twist in the full in back salto, what is the position of the arms, straight or bent?
Well, just a previous explanation. I've done this, all the presentation with straight arms because it's easier to make the transfer to the bent arms than the opposite. And if you see what is the most perfect shape is with straight arms. And that's where I went. So it will be easy for, if you can recall on the presentation, when the girl was doing from the mini trampoline 1.5, she was already bending. And it was pretty much natural. I didn't ask her to make. I just asked her to make small, faster push on the right arm, and she immediately bent it. So if it's a straight salto, a double layout with a full twist, I will totally prefer to make it with straight arms. But if it's a tuck salto or a pucks or a tuck or a pike, I will probably prefer to make it bent because I will probably enter faster in the rotation.
Great, thank you.